Hello, it's Doug, the 2-Minute Gardener. Time to talk about how to create a terraced rose garden. Roses are so wonderful, but they need flat surfaces to really thrive. Most roses do not like slopes. This particular client came to me with a slope like this, covered in ivy and pretty darn steep, and they loved roses. So first thing I had to do was start building some CMU walls to really terrace it nicely. And as you've seen in my other videos, these are CMU block walls, and they have the nice French drains behind them because roses need really good drainage. And once we got the walls built and capped, then it was time to start adding some facade. So for this particular property, the house they lived in was in an older section of San Diego called Point Loma, and they had an older house that had a lot of brick in it. And so I actually found a brick facade that matched the house brick. I also measured the angles on the house to match the walls. I wanted these walls to look 80 years old like the house is. The house is 80 years old. I wanted the walls to look a natural part of the house. So here the guys are putting on the brick facade. Now, once the walls are built, the next important part with a rose garden or anything that needs really good soil is to get really good soil. So you want to get some really good blended soil. You can even use topsoil if the parent soil isn't really horrible. But with roses, you really need some good soil. Definitely want to order it in bulk if possible, if you're doing a big terrace job like this. The potting mix is okay, but you definitely need to then amend that with some further soils. So check out some of the soil places where you live. If you're going to use some parent soil and it's really heavy clay, then use something like that soil conditioner to really break it up and get it good, looking good. So now that you've done the soil, the next thing you want to do is the irrigation. I recommend a drip irrigation for roses in a compacted beds like this because you don't want the water spraying all over those walls. So with drip, you need to make sure you have these drip irrigation heads. Don't just buy those retrofitters on here because the water pressure on almost all irrigation systems is too strong for a drip system. You need those drip heads because they have the filters and the pressure reducers. And so it's really important that you actually install the drip valves with those drip heads and then run the lines all over the planting area as you see in this particular video. Now, you can add those individual heads after you planted the roses because generally you want to know exactly where the roses are going to go before you add those heads. And with roses, you want to add probably two of those little drip heads per plant. Now it's time to go buy some roses. Best time to do that, of course, is January and February, bare root rose season. But you can actually plant roses at any time of the year. But you're going to find the best selection in January and February. And by the way, there are links in the comment section to buy some of the roses you're going to see in this video. After you've planted the roses, I recommend you get these little slow release packets. These are slow release fertilizer packets, and they will actually help feed the plant for the next 6 months. They're really wonderful. If you live here in San Diego, then I definitely recommend getting some Ada Perry's. This is sold at Walter Anderson Nursery. But no matter what kind of rose food you get, you definitely want to feed the roses as soon as you plant them, but with something kind of slow, not a miracle grow, just slow release fertilizer to kind of help build the nutrients in the root system to get those roses ready for a really wonderful, wonderful garden. And so here we are. This is about 6 months after we've planted the roses, and they're filling in nicely. Notice that we did some other plants other than roses. I'm a big believer in putting some companion plants in a rose garden in addition to the roses because you want to have things blooming when the roses don't look great. You also want to have things that attract things like goldfinches and hummingbirds that are really great for having a nice, healthy, organic garden. All right, so it's all planted. And here's what it looks like 10 years later. I swung by 10 years later, and I was just so happy with how this turned out. The homeowners have done an amazing job taking care of these roses. They have really filled in beautifully, as have the companion plants. And it's one of the highlights in Point Loma, especially in the springtime, to go see what's now known as the Rose House. They have almost 100 roses there in their front yard. These wonderful beds, just look fabulous. That's Earth Angel. It's just a great little thing. So I'm going to stop talking here and just say enjoy these roses. There's a tour of this lovely Point Loma rose garden. We terraced it, created it out of a front yard of weeds and ivy and all these other things. Again, there's a list of the roses in the video description and comment section and links on where you can buy some of these roses. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and share and subscribe. Until next time, this is Doug, the 2-Minute Gardener, saying thanks for watching.